J-Dog, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much. Slayer Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world. LG, Intel Centrino, GOM TV, Star Invitational.
Welcome back, guys. This is Nick Tasteless Plot at the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. We're at the grand finals now. Stork versus Flash. Protoss versus Terran. They are tied 1-1. We have just seen an epic game. The next map is going to be BaekmaGoji. A map that is probably one of the weirdest maps you will see in in StarCraft. A map with double the minerals and double the gas that you start out with. I can't wait to see how this game is going to unfold. There is a possibility that Stork will proxy gate rush because this is a one-on-one map. As we saw earlier, Stork played a very, very impressive game of Protoss versus Terran. He did he did Fast Nexus. Flash responded by a very well-calculated rush, which actually picked off the command center, and he then backed out. It looked like Stork was going to be pretty far behind, but then, well, it looked like the tables turned. Stork managed to get enough carriers in there that he just did an incredible amount of damage with them. Flash tried to push across the map. It looked like he was going to be taking his opponent out. But then at the last second, Stork managed to save his expansion. Not all of them, but at least the ones that mattered. And come back. And then with the low tank count, well, it was just pretty easy for Stork to run over Flash. It was only a matter of time then. Flash, child genius, 15 years old, and he's made it all the way to the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational Finals. Unbelievable. He's only been playing for 3 years, and he started playing at the age of 12. I mean, when I look back at how bad I was at the age 15, when I started playing StarCraft, I really have to say I have a lot of respect for this guy. He seems to have some type of supercomputer brain. Stork, a strategic genius. Very good at decision-making. Very hard to beat once he gains the momentum. And these two giants are facing each other to see who can be declared the best StarCraft player in history. We have the new versus the old. Flash versus Stork. Both players have a lot of respect for each other. I talked to them a little bit backstage. And I can totally see why they would. These are two powerhouse players. We've been getting a lot of good feedback from the event here live and online. I gotta say, it's a real thrill to be here. And here's a highlight. Flash. Very, very and it looks like
자, 벌써 한 개 그 사이 맞아서 이영 선수
the previous games of the tournament. That's what
자, 글쎄요. 자, 드랍은 오영경 선수 이렇게 상대가 턱하고 덮치는 플레이가 좋은데요.
버프로 지우려고 그러네요. 탱크 나오고 SC도 있고 입구 쪽에 버프가 있기 때문에 he's one of these players that does not seem to lose to
맞겠어요. SB 적당히 줄여주고 나서 탱크에 붙어야죠. 탱크에.
자, 오영동 선수가 또 이런 플레이 프로리그에서 또 많이 보여주지 않았습니까?
네, 양승범 컨트롤 좋습니다. 이영호 선수. 조금 측에서 프로브를 좀 많이 잡아서. 위험해요. 여섯.
자, 그런데 탱크. 일단 SCB 줄여주고. 자, 벌써 6킬. 4킬.
한기 돌아가서 벌처가 프로브를 잡은 것 때문에 지금 2게이트 돌리고 빡빡한 상황이에요.
그렇죠. 자, 드랍은 한기 내려왔습니다.
We see the entire KTF team is down here watching, as well as the Samsung Con team for an event as important as this one. Looking at the forum, somebody says, shout out to your Aussie mates. What's up, guys? Someone has a question for me. It says, Flash's fast dual armory build has proven to be very effective versus Protoss users who go Arbiter and Carrier tag mid-game. What do you think TOS users will do to adapt to this? That's a very good question. I would actually have to think about that one for a while. One thing to note is that Protoss could be expanding a lot faster and doing a lot more Expo-type builds. maybe emphasizing a little bit more of the Psionic Storm and more gateways rather than the tech pattern to the Arbiters or to the carriers right away.
그렇죠.
Here we're seeing a replay of Stork. And again, this was one of the games on BaekmaGoji. This was the game where we really got to see how powerful carriers actually were. Especially because once you get a few of them, you can cut off the entrance to the Terran base with ease. And look at that. I mean, this was a game where it looked like Terran was winning so easily. And all of a sudden, he got Stork.
이렇게 큰 손해를 보시 지금 경기 끝내 캐리어 지금 4개인가요? 경기가 이렇게 되나요 지금? 아 이거 정말 아쉽겠는데요.
끈질기게 물리한 그리고 탱커스 주인원이 경적 싸움에서 승리를 거둔 송병구 선수 본전 밀어붙이고 있습니다. 안마나 멀티 완전 무방비 상태. 드라곤이 하고 있고요. 자 무인지경 캐리어가 진영 선수의 본전 공격하고 있습니다.
6개가 쌓였어요 캐리어가.
간헐적으로 나온
송병구 선수의 캐리어는
위협이 되지 않죠. 아머리가 깨졌어요.
사자머리 업그레이드도 있게 만드는 캐리어네요. 이제는
질질
속 많이 나오느냐 하면은 다른 맵과
This was a painful game to watch, where Berserker lost that first Marine and then Stork had double proxy gated.
열심히 동안 판단은 좋았는데 컨트롤.
And this was complete ownership. This was a very one-sided game where Stork really proves that, look, there's a girl freaking out right now. I can't believe how good Stork is. His rushes are so good.
아까 이영우 선수 하는 차원 나오죠. 그때는 탱크가 나왔거든요. 지금 애도 없어요.
He just makes every right decision during the rush, so that there's no way that you can recover. That's why I'm so curious to see if a player like Stork is actually going to proxy gate on a map like this. Here we can see there's some players from Samsung Con down here. Looks like some more stuff on the forums. Excuse me. Shout out to, does this say Debrecen? From Hungary. And it says also to SRQ Weevil and Scoundrels. Also to Bulgaria. Great country. And to the California Bears from from Berkeley. My dad did his undergrad there. Cheers to all of you guys. I hope you guys are all watching and enjoying yourselves. Very soon we will get this game started. After the second game of the tournament, they always give the players a break. Let them rest their hands a little bit, go to the restroom, stretch, all that good stuff. They let me do that too, thank God. Again, the next map, BaekmaGoji, and it's about to start now. Or I think so. I'm just reading off the commentators. Maybe not, actually. I guess we got some more time. I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. Flash versus Stork. The grand finals here at the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. Stay tuned.
Knock 'em down. Lock 'em down. Shut 'em down. Shut 'em down. Knock 'em down. Knock 'em down. Shut 'em down. Come on. Shut 'em down.
The fans are going crazy right now. All right, we've got Flash at the top right. And that makes Stork at the bottom left. This is a very interesting map. It's a map that you would have to practice on a lot just to get a good feel for what you can and cannot do on it. There's even neutral creep colonies in certain locations, which you have to take out if you want to expand to, if you're Terran or Protoss. It really shows how map makers have just really pushed it to the limit here with how they can design maps that just are still so new. I think carriers are very strong on this map because you don't have to make an additional nexus to get, the extra gas, which means you can tech the carriers a little bit faster. We did see Stork do that. Looks like Stork, once again, not going to go for the proxy. It seems as though Stork has decided that Flash is the type of player that his micro is just so good that it's almost impossible to beat him with a rush like that. Gateway first for Protoss. Note Flash's building placement, very strong against a possible rush. Zealots can squeeze through everything, whereas Marines can fit through more different types of building setups. So since Stork's going to be going for a non-rush game, I do think the carriers are a high chance. At least, excuse me, I think it's a high chance that we will see carriers. There's Flash's parents in the audience. Talk about the stressful thing to show up and watch your kid do and play in the finals of the Dome TV StarCraft Invitational at the age of 15. Looks like Stork hid the second pylon, but is not going to use it. This is a really, really good technique that a lot of pro gamers use. They hide the second pylon because if Flash scouts him and doesn't see the second pylon, Flash has been trained to assume that there's some type of hidden rush or hidden tech coming up. So that can throw him off. He may even let him scout him for that reason. Looks like the probe's going to get inside and take a peek at what his opponent's doing. Somebody asks on the forums, do I know how many countries are watching? Do I have an approximate number of how many people are watching the stream live? I'm actually not allowed to say the number of people that are watching the stream live yet, because those numbers are not official. But I do know that there are at least, I believe, 138 different countries that had tuned in, which is pretty good. So, yeah, that's turned out to be a real success. Someone else says, shout out to Madrid. Mind Freak is doing I can't read this word, some walk for animal rights. Oh, you guys are doing a walk for animal rights. Okay, cool. And someone says, shout out to 4chan. All right. Okay, well, moving back on. It looks like we're going to see early Dragoon range, Gateway, and Robo Bay. This is a very typical build. And Flash is one of these players that does not generally do unorthodox builds. He's normally the guy that just deflects the unorthodox build and then makes a fool out of you. So it's interesting to see both these players going for very standard builds right now. Looks like that Dragoon will not be able to do any real Marine harassment. Putting a pylon there so that if a scouting SCV comes, it's going to have just a little bit of a harder time squeezing in there. Dragoon's now rushing, but Flash is moving out now with the standard fake double build. A long time ago, this used to trick a lot of Protoss players. Protoss players thought that the Terran got a second factory. But in fact, the Terran uses it as a fast expansion maneuver, and he's going to do that in this case, only it's very easy to expand to that location for Terran. And it's actually going to be an early Reaver drop build. This may be strong because Flash is expanding. The Reaver harassment, tougher to hold off if you have to have your units in more places. It looks like the Vulture Bike's going to plant a few mines, putting it in a position where it's very possible that Stork could just walk right over it and lose his Dragoons. 3 more mines put outside the front of Flash's base to stop any type of DT rush. Looks like the Vulture Bike... Oh, no, it actually managed to get by. It will spot that hidden pylon. Not that it matters now. The game's already developed too far for that pylon to actually influence the game. And the command center is almost done. The shuttle's now out. This could be an aggressive opening for Stork. He may use the Dragoons to complement the Reaver drop so that he can attack in different areas. Now remember, last time we saw Stork expand later than Flash, Stork lost pretty quickly. Now here comes the shuttle moving in. All of Flash's units clustered together next to the main command center. Is this Vulture Bike going to spot the shuttle? No, it's out of vision. That was close. That would have been very unfortunate for Stork had that been spotted. And it looks like, well, it did seem, whoa, he did overextend himself, step on that mine. Now here comes it looks like the Reaver drop is going to happen pretty soon here. This is going to be a pivotal moment. And he's dropping it now. Does not look like any of Flash's units are actually there to help. Scarab only taking out one SCV, though. Surprisingly ineffective Reaver drop. Bad luck for Stork. Backs out. And was that enough damage? I'm not sure. Once again, another early armory build. This is Flash's signature build. It's official now. He loves that early armory. Or at least he does on these maps. Now Flash must get ready for this possible very aggressive push to the front of his base, which Stork is going to do very soon here. Here he comes now, going to pick off a few mines. Stork is also walled off this side of the map. We're going to get, I believe, a shot of it in just a second. He's moving in now. I don't know if Flash actually has siege mode yet. He's going to need siege mode, though, if he wants to stop this attack. And it doesn't look like he's actually gotten siege mode. Looks like he tried to take a risk here and tech a little bit faster and did not get the siege mode. Oh, no, he did. Oh, wow, now I look like a fool. All right, he's moving in with the Reaver, taking out, or not taking out, the rest of Stork's army. Backing off. That could have been game. Sometimes players like to take quick little risks and assume that the other player won't attack because it's not typical to do so. And I thought that was one of them when he did not get the siege mode. Pylon wall here to stop Vulture Bike circulation. Reaver does not like his pylons getting attacked. Soon we're going to see the science facility for the Terran so we can continue to upgrade at a rapid rate. Turned out to be a pretty heavy macro game for both players. I'm curious as to how effective Terran's push is going to be. A Forge now, probably to upgrade the Protoss units. He doesn't want to get too far behind. 3-3 Terran army against a non-upgraded Protoss army. It's pretty pitiful to watch. And again, very withdrawn game so far. Citadel actually out a little bit later than you would have expected, but it looks like he really wanted to pump as many Dragoons as possible. Terran's not likely to push if they get the armory early. They need to at least get a few upgrades, which is probably why Stork wasn't scrambling to get the Zealot leg upgrade, which is very necessary to stop the push. But he'll have that soon. Stork very good at making decisions in this game. He's quite brilliant. And it looks like, all right, now the Terran's going to push out. Someone on the forums says, shout out to Vancouver and San Diego. What's up, guys? Someone else says, shout out to everyone playing from Rebels Gaming, from, I believe this says ROM, which is a nationwide group of gamers watching all night long. Oh, that's great. Good to hear from you guys, but all right, it looks like the Terran's now kind of push out. He's going to try to gain some type of ground over here. Protoss backing off. Stork will do anything to just delay the command center getting set up, but it looks like Flash has calculated this build order very, very well. And it looks like the Templar Archives is now coming out. All right, here he comes now. He's going to try to pick off a few in the front. Looks like there was some type of Reaver drop or something in the back or the bottom of that. And it now looks like Stork is going to take out all of Flash's units. A humiliating moment for Flash, losing the tanks. This expansion will not be able to be set up. And if he can get in here and go in for the kill move on the command center, oh no, Flash is going to lose the command center as well. Flash massively behind now. Stork setting up an expansion at the south. Stork probably very happy at this moment that he has gained such an advantage. Somebody else says shout out to all the Israelis watching. Another person says shout out to Real Feck. I hope I'm saying your name right. And the 33rd Infantry Brigade. Whoa, here comes some more vulture bikes taking out some probes. Flash wants to try to come back, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Although, whoa, he's getting a reasonable amount of probes here. Wow, it looks like Stork has only 3 probes left at that expansion. No, 4, excuse me. One was hiding behind the tree just to make me look bad. Here's another forge coming up. And it looks like, in fact, Stork's response to the early armory is to get a lot more gateways rather than tech towards arbiters or carriers directly. This may be the way to beat Flash. Somebody else says shout out to GoSuGamers.net. I love all those guys at GoSuGamers.net. I've met so many of them. And somebody else says shout out to UNC Chapel Hill, staying up all night into the early morning. And finally somebody says shout out to Raid Chan from, does this say the word the ninja? Great, I got ninjas watching me now. Now I just need pirates and my dreams will be complete. Oh, this probe barely sneaking by the Vulture Bikes. Probably will be able to set up. Okay, hold that thought. Here comes some more Vulture Bikes moving in now for some more probe kills. Stork has to maintain his advantage. He cannot afford to keep losing probes like this. And Flash is doing an excellent job of faking Stork out, making it look like he's done with the Vulture Bike harassment, then dashes back in there. Wow. But again, Flash still has not gotten another expansion out, and Stork is already expanding. Stork at a massive advantage right now. Looks like Flash is going to try to leapfrog a few tanks, and it looks like Stork is getting ready to do a possible attack on this. It's all going to come down to whether or not Flash can get this expansion up. Stork knows that he's going to move in now. No, he's not. I was just kidding. He's not going to move in yet. That is going to be tough for the Protoss to take out. Terran scans. Very difficult decision now. Does he move in? The Templar very vulnerable and is taken out. Scanning and laying some more mines. Flash will do anything to get this expansion in his hands. I also see on the mini-map that Stork has already expanded to the bottom right. +2 attack, +1 armor. This seems to be the build that Flash is using over and over again. The 15-year-old genius has figured out an incredibly good build to use against Protoss players, even the best. And it looks like now the neutral buildings in the middle are going to be picked off so that Starkin has more control over the center of the map. Flash suddenly moves down here with the Vulture Bikes and realizes that he checked this expansion too late. Stork is growing at a terrifying rate. He is growing faster than the Plague right now, and possibly more dangerous than the Plague. Sad Zealot. Okay, here comes some more Vulture Bikes. They're going to try to pick off these cannons and then follow that up by trying to pick off the Nexus, I assume. However, this may be all in vain because meanwhile, Stork says, time to die expansion, moves in, and there are just way too many units for Flash to do anything about this. Storming the tanks, pushing it back. It doesn't matter how far Stork gets in there because the expansion command center will once again be assassinated. This is so bad for Flash. He is in such hot water right now. It looks like Stork decided to attack simply because there were not any Vulture Bikes at that expansion. Even though the Vulture Bikes wouldn't have been pivotal in holding that attack off, it was just a little something that helped him gain some ground. This is going to be so difficult for Flash now. And, yep, these Vulture Bikes are going to die, too. In case you didn't see that one coming already. Flash trying to do anything he can possibly can to just buy some time to get this expansion over here, but this expansion is in such a vulnerable position, it will almost absolutely be destroyed once Stork finds it. And Stork's already found it because there's an observer there. And this is going to be very bad for our friend Flash. Oh man, Templars not doing a great job this game, I gotta say. This is a bad day for Templars. So this expansion will now be taken out. Flash trying to figure out anything that he can do to possibly gain some ground, but the nearest expansion was already taken out. It almost looks like Flash is playing desperately because, frankly, there's no reason why he should have expanded there again. He should have just expanded again to the location that was actually close, but who knows? It looks like also we can see that the Protoss is getting Arbiters. Stork soon having Arbiters will make it nearly impossible for Flash to push, especially with Stasis and Recall. All Stork has to do is sit back and maintain the momentum that he's got, and he should win. Another expansion's been set up for Terran. Finally, Terran may be able to actually get this expansion up, but Stork, looking on the minimap, it is bleeding white to the north. And Stork's army will soon catch up. And here's an Arbiter to come in with that. If Flash can EMP the Arbiter, it might not be as effective if he has Stasis, but I don't think it even matters. Look at all of these units flooding into Flash's base. Arbiter has to back up a little bit. Looks like those science vessels are on hold position. Defensive Matrix, one of the tanks. And, oh my gosh, is he actually going to hold this up? No, never mind. There's a lot more Zealots than I had realized. And here they come now, taking out the rest of this. This could be the good game trigger that will be pulled because Flash has almost no options. It's pretty much 99% clear that Flash is going to lose this game and Stork is going to win. Looks like Flash is desperately trying to do something with his units at the bottom. And will this command center be taken out? Oh, look at this Arbiter. Arbiter versus command center. Who will win? Well, if the Arbiter gives up like that, then I guess the command center wins. All right, freezing. Even some spider mines are stasis in there, and now Stork will attempt to wipe his opponent out. Zealots bumping into stasis units. It looks like Stork accidentally stasis himself away from the main of Flash, buying Flash some more time. That was a complete mistake by Stork. Total accident. So it looks like Flash will have some more time to sit around before he loses this game because there's definitely no way I think he can win. All right, 3 attack, 2 armor, and the same is true for Terran. So Stork has maintained the same ground that he had, or the same upgrade advantage. This might be one of the reasons why his army is doing so well. And look, I'm looking at the forum. Someone said Stork said in an interview at Fighter Forum that he would train until his hands broke before he stopped. Someone says, shout out to Flash's parents for producing a genius. Yeah, no kidding. Way to go, Flash's mom and dad. I don't know. You guys got some good genes there. Somebody else says, shout out to Something Awful Forums. Oh, yeah, I actually go to that site sometimes. I'm glad to know you guys have been watching that. Somebody else says, shout outs to the Pirates from Richmond and British Columbia. Great, now I've got Pirates and Ninjas watching me. This is awesome. But hold that thought, because a storm drop's happening. What is Flash's only hope? Oh, if it is even a hope at all, with 5 SCVs trying to mine minerals. Flash has a snowball's chance in hell of accomplishing anything in this game right now. I'm actually surprised he hasn't given up. I mean, this has got to be This has got to be wearing to try to be playing in this position. Oh my God, he has so many units. Stork, what is your problem, man? Take it easy. He is definitely maxed, and I bet if we get a shot of his base, he's probably making twice the amount of gateways. Oh, wow. Yep, he is. So he's clearly maxed so that even if let's say he loses his whole army in some type of freak accident, he can still reproduce it almost immediately. And Stork is expanding to the top left, too. Somebody says shout out to Vegas. Reckroll is down there right now at a poker tournament, I believe, with Elke. Reckroll, really nice guy. We've been playing a lot of StarCraft together. I think we're currently tied in our record, but I think he may be up in a game or two. Really good player, though. Really funny guy, too. Somebody else says, shout out to Castle Hill, Sydney. You want me to dance at the end of the interview? No, man, I mean, I would do that for you guys, but I don't think the Koreans would find it as funny as you do. All right. We're still waiting, I guess, for Flash to leave the game. I don't know what he's doing. No offense to him, of course. He is a genius. And here comes a possible recall. Wham, there it is. More Arbiters there, too. And this expansion, it's going to be tough. Wow, totally EMP'd. I don't know what he was... I think he should have recalled his entire army there, not just one group of it. That was pretty sloppy by Stork. But at this point in time, he's allowed to make mistakes because he is so ahead. I didn't even think if Jesus was playing, he could win right now in Flash's position. And I bet Jesus would have been pretty good at StarCraft, so that's saying a lot. Somebody else says, shout out to Hendrix College. Been watching since the start of the tourney last week. I'm glad to hear that. Well, here comes another attack. This is going to be impossible for Flash to salvage. Stasising the science vessel so no EMPs can happen. And GG, Flash has surrendered. It is a 2-1 advantage for Stork. The pressure is starting to build up, and Flash can feel it. Stork can sit back a little bit and relax because he is in a good place right now. The next map is going to be Katrina. Wow, these games have just turned out to be awesome. Stork doing an unbelievable job of just maintaining that advantage. His build was just really, really good. I got to say, I am just thrilled to see how awesome these games have turned out. Flash really put up a good fight, but the mass gateway with the Forge complement to keep up with the upgrades made Flash's build rather weak, especially because once Protoss begins to dominate the map, it's almost impossible for Terran to gain any ground, especially on that map. But now we're back to Katrina. This is the map where Stork got owned by Flash. I don't have a thesaurus with me, but I can't think of a better word to describe what happened to Stork. Actually, you know what? I bet the word owned isn't even in I can't even talk today. The thesaurus. All right, I'm just going to kill this joke before I destroy myself. It looks like it's going to be very tough for Flash to win, though. This is a Protoss map, and I'm sure that Stork has learned from his mistakes. But again, Flash seems to be dominating all of the Protoss players on this map, so this could be another win for Flash, and it's going to have to be if he wants to stay in this event. Flash is a player who's known for training ridiculously hard. He's only 15, and that says a lot. I mean, clearly he's a genius. He's got to be one of the brightest minds in Korea, if not the world, to be able to master the most difficult esport ever made, possibly the most difficult game ever made, StarCraft. Mastering it in 3 years, starting at the age of 12, and then becoming the best Terran in the world at the age 15. This guy is my hero. Stork, one of the best strategic minds out there, has slowly been studying Flash during these games and has figured out what seems to be a build to counteract Flash's early armory game. Very impressive. Both players have now joined the game. I don't know how much time we have before the game starts. I never know. That's why I look like I'm a rambling idiot when I'm up here. But I'm pretty sure it'll be starting soon. There's a shot of Flash. He looks a bit more stressed than he was earlier. And here's a shot of Stork. I believe he's watching no, he's not actually watching the replay again because he's sitting in the game right now. But Stork probably feeling very good about what's been going on in the past 2 games. He looked very stressed when he lost that first game on the map that he was clearly supposed to win on. We're still waiting for this game to start. We got the 3 Korean commentators up there. That's Garimto on the far right. He's a really cool guy. If you ever get the chance to meet him, really, really nice guy. And the other 2 guys are nice too. Don't get me wrong. So it's gone on to game 4. It could possibly end right there if Stork is taking out Flash.